Maya broke out into tears and started packing. She was so heartbroken, her hands were shaking. She saw him playing with Cyrus. She just didn't want to live in that house anymore. She was confused about how he changed so easily, and that was the reason he wanted to fool her for the baby. All the questions were raising in her mind. She just didn't want to live there. Her mind was telling her to live before him. She packed her stuff and immediately ran outside. She came out and saw her mother-in-law sitting on the couch. She looked at her. Mrs. Are you leaving? Why didn't even look at her and walked towards the door. Wait for him. Maybe I'm lying. Why this trigger why so much? Your confidence telling this is not a lie. Why she just mocked and Ryan walked out. While on the other hand, he was sitting in the car driving towards the house quickly. His heartbeat was so fast he was scared to face her. Hello, sir. He didn't even know what had happened that day with him. It was true that he liked her before marriage, but he left her after marriage. That day he got into an accident. He died. Sweat was all over his face. He was so scared to face reality. He wanted to kill everyone, but first he wanted to talk to his wife. Flashback. He was driving the car fastly because he couldn't believe what he had done. His shirt was half opened and his hair was messed up. His hands were trembling. He was so shocked. He didn't want to do that because he was married. His mind was so messed up that he hit his car in another car. It was not a big accident. They both were saved. Flashback ends. He came out of the car and ran out into the house. He entered and there was no one. He ran towards his room and entered. He checked his closet and the bathroom, but she wasn't there. He closed his eyes because he knew she left. Calling, calling, he shouted and the maid asked, where is Van? Who let her enter? I don't. Just go. She nodded and went out. And then she told her, but when did she go? He worriedly went out of the house behind Van. Van was sitting here. She decided to go to her aunt's house that one or two after when their father died. The bus stopped when she entered in it. She had so much money, so it was not hard for her to purchase a ticket to sit in the bus. She was sitting here while smiling. She was thinking that now he would leave and Jungkook just liked her before. She worked in his office and flirted with him. She was beautiful, so he started to like her. Flashback. Ellie was her first day. She was wearing heels and walking towards her seat, but she bumped into him. He looked at her. I'm sorry, boss, he said sadly. It's okay. He started walking towards the office. His scent is amazing. He is handsome. She saw this. After that, many times she went to his office to see him. She wanted him to love her so that she could marry him. She was a beautiful girl and kind, and he could know about her attention, so he also gave her time and talked with her sweetly. They were happy, but they were not in a relationship. She entered the room and saw him sitting on the chair angrily. She walked towards him and good morning. He put the coffee and what happened, she asked. My mom arranged my marriage with someone. Her smile fell down. What? How is that possible? How can you marry someone else? So say to her that you don't want to marry that girl. You can go now. It's not your problem. What do you mean it's not my problem? I love you. They from dinner as and he looked at her angrily. I didn't ask you to love me. Just go. I don't want drama. I thought that you loved me. You wanted to marry that guy. I refused, but my mother is forcing me and I can't do anything. Now Goshi started crying and walked away, assuming he didn't mean to hurt her, but he couldn't do anything. After that, he married Ryan. At first, his behavior was so off with Ryan, but then he realized that she was his wife, so he started to take stands for her. He didn't like when his stepmother hurt her, so he started to help her when he fell in love with Ryan. At first, he didn't accept her, but then he realized that she was the girl he wanted. Mom was sitting in the bus while her tears were falling. She was looking outside, but suddenly a few cars stopped. Her heartbeat increased. She realized that he came a car in front of the bus and bus driver stopped the car. He came into the bus and looked at her. She was sitting in the back. He grabbed her and they both walked out. She didn't say anything because she didn't want to create any drama. They sat down in the bus, in the car, and she looked at him with tears. He wiped her tears. Man, first listen to me, Jungkook. Is it true? No, he was his worst cuts. I watched that video. He got silent and she started crying. Why I love you? No, you don't. You still love her. I'm not just a toy. He immediately hugged her. No, I just love you. Tears were falling. I don't want to live with you, she said while her voice were broken. Don't say this. I know I didn't do that. I will prove it. That video is enough to know the truth. I believe that was fake. If that was fake, why were you so panicked that time when you arrived home? He was answered but still believed that he didn't do that. Now mine was sitting on the bed. He was sitting beside her, making her believe that he just loved her and didn't do anything. But she was telling she knew that he was lying. She realized that he wouldn't let her go, so she accepted her fate. She was so heartbroken she didn't have any words to say to him. She just became silent because her stamina was not enough to face him. Why need something? She looked at me. Please eat. You haven't eaten anything since morning. He was about to put the phone in front of her mouth, but she turned her face. Please leave me alone. I don't want to see you. Why, please don't hate me. She caught him and walked into the washroom. She locked it from it, and he knew that she didn't want to see his face. So he sat down on the couch. His head was spinning. He held his head. He called his secretary on the phone. Did you find that recording? No, boss. That recording is deleted by her. Okay, boss. And after that, he sat there, begging her to eat and talk to him and open the door, but she didn't. While on the other hand, Ellie, I thought that he loved him, but he loved Dad. Now he is begging her to talk to her. Is she more pretty than me? Who is she? She's just an ordinary girl. She was talking to her angrily. She was so jealous and angry at the same time. She wanted to because she heard that she couldn't believe that he started to love Ryan, but because she wanted him to love her so or marry her, she thought that he would not love Ryan because he was in an arranged and forced marriage. She had started falling. If she was so jealous and hurt, she kicked the table and sat down on the couch. At first, she didn't want to reveal, but his stepmother forced her. And that was true that it was an interesting attraction. He never loved her. He never knew that really was just an attraction. He was finding a girl who could help him to get out of the toxic phase and made him forget it wasn't he found Ryan. Well, after marrying her, because he never said that he loved her. It was just Ali's imagination which made her believe that he started to love her. They were not in a relationship, he just wanted to leave Ryan for her, but he refused, so now she decided to destroy their happy marriage. Now she was standing in front of the glass window while crying. Ryan sneaked out and saw her. We went out. She came back to into the room while her eyes were puffy and red. Her lips were dry. She couldn't believe that he cheated on her. It was hard for her to accept the truth. She started to believe that. Ellie lay down on the bed heavily because she knew that she success would discharge his marriage. She always wanted, but his stepmother helped her. But Ellie didn't know that his stepmother wanted to destroy him. She closed her eyes, thinking about that he would marry her after giving her divorce. She was ready to do everything just to destroy their marriage. She just wanted him. I will just ask Matt for her. He will help me. Matt was his enemy. She wasn't thinking that Matt only wanted to destroy him. Her mind was lost and she just wanted him. Mine opened her eyes and looked at the beautiful sky. The weather was amazing, but she was so sad. Her eyes hurt. She had a sign and sat down and saw him. He was sitting on the couch in front of her. His eyes were sleeping. It was looking like he didn't sleep. He got up and sat beside her. Are you okay? She ignored him and was about to go, but he grabbed her hand. Listen to me. You have to believe me. I believe that woman wanted to separate us. I'm trying to find the truth. Believe me. She was looking into us and they were not lying. He hugged her and kissed her hand. You really didn't know that. She nodded. I love you. But what about that video? Did you see my face? No, then how can you believe it? I believe that it's not true. That video is where they wanted to separate us. You have to believe me. I will find out everything, and if I did something wrong, I would tell you. I will not hide anything from you, but believe me, I didn't do that. I'm finding that videos that woman hide it and blackmail me without even showing. That means it's fake. If she's dead, then why she is not showing it to me? She's lying. My secretary told me that my stepmother is with her and that they are doing this to get money. She no longer works in my company. He broke the egg and vibrator. You don't have to worry. Let's change something. She nodded and they both walked out and one believed him. After 1 week. Ellie sat down on the couch angry and how can he forgive him so easily? They are together now. How did she believe him? Mrs. just mocked and he manipulated his lying there, trying to hide the truth. She's an innocent girl, so she believed in his lies. When he's dumb, I know her. She doesn't have any blame. Now she will leave him. But when just failed, Mrs. Joe was just a clever and Ellie was dumb. Ellie just wanted him and Mrs. Joe wanted to destroy him and it didn't. Mom was sitting on the couch and she entered. She got a pepper and hugged him. Did you eat properly? She nodded. Did you find out? Yes, they are trying to get money and it's their plan. But don't worry, I will not let them hurt you again. She smiled and let's eat dinner. They walked towards the dining table. A few months later, the day came and she was going to give us. He was so worried about her, but her condition was not okay. She was going to give birth by C-section. Now she was in the room and he was waiting for her outside. 2 days later, she opened her eyes and looked at the room. The basket condition was so worse that she came back into her senses after 2 days. She looked around her son, baby. She smiled and knew that it was her baby girl. She was alone and it hurt her because she was nowhere. She sat down and waited for someone. The nurse said, I'm feeling good, but do you know where my husband is? No. She walked towards her and checked her and walked out. Man became so worried for him. She waited all day, but he didn't come. Not even a single person come to see her. She was just laying there waiting for him, but at night he came and one looked at her and what are you doing here? She smiled. Why? Because he doesn't like that you give birth to a baby. Because you are lying. He was so happy. She started laughing. Why am I so dumb? First you give a chance to a cheater. Now you saying that he is happy. Girl, he always wanted a boy. You know that he manipulated you. He lied and waited for the birth of the baby. But to a baby girl, he left you alone here. He lied to you that he didn't cheat. I have all proofs you are so dumb. Now he didn't want to see you because you didn't give birth a boy. Now he will give you a divorce. My eyes filled with tears. Did he really cheat? Yes, and he hid this from you. I will not believe you are lying. Okay, don't believe me. He will come and ask for a divorce by himself. She walked out, leaving Ryan in a devastating condition. Ryan tried to control herself and I decided to wait for him. He was standing in front of the screen and watching himself cheating on Ryan. With Ali, he couldn't believe that he really did that. His heart broke into pieces and the tears started falling. He looked back and this is Cho Jungkook. He was speechless and his heart shattered. He didn't accept this from himself. Now see, we are not lying. He grabbed. Now you have to accept this and give that innocent soul. She don't deserve this. I know. She did. Now she is the mother of your daughter and don't force her to stay with you. You already cheated on her. Stop doing this. Even now this was in front of his eyes. He came into the house and started doing things. He really did that. He really cheated on her. He thought that it was a lie. But it was true. His friends started standing there watching him, destroying his things. She will hate me for all her life. Why did I do that? Because you were not in your senses. You lost your control and chose to do that. He was crying and so heartbroken. He thought that he found the girl, but now he lost her. After his mother, he felt love for and another woman. Now one loved him. No one loved him all his life. But after 5 years, he found the girl, and he lost it. While on the other hand, Mine was devastated because it didn't come. She started to believe in Ellie's words. She was crying silently while looking at her daughter. At first, he judged her, then he left her because of a baby girl. Because of this, the daughter gave her pills. He came and looked at her. She was sleeping. Could really feel her eyes. He touched her, and he was also heartbroken as he heard her because he never wanted to do her. He walked to his daughter and held her and smiled. Look, she is beautiful. His friend nodded by smiling. He didn't know that she would wake up. He sat her on the couch and waited for her to open her eyes. She was holding his daughter. He never wanted this. He never wanted to become like his father. Just because of some mistakes, he became like this. Him. In the morning, he went opened her eyes and saw him sitting on the couch. He was staring at her. She sat down and, where are you? She said with a broken voice, Wine. Let's get divorced. Her eyes widen and filled with tears. What you were saying, I really? Yes, it is so. I don't want to hurt this from you and force you to stay because I know you will start hating me. And it's useless to force you to stay with me. You can take Jenny with you. I will not separate you from her. Thanks for living with me. She started crying. I've never wanted to do that, but he stopped. He got up and looked at her and don't touch her. You don't deserve this. He nodded and walked out and she just quiet laying there, lonely. He came out and didn't have the stamina to walk the world around her. He felt like spinning so fast. He didn't just destroy one, he destroyed himself also. One was sitting there holding her daughter. She felt good after seeing her beautiful daughter wanted and he was still heartbroken. She loved him, but he cheated on her. She couldn't hide from him. She didn't see him after that. He gave her daughter everything. He took the expense of her. He knew that one couldn't do this. One worked online job. Wank was laying on the couch in the work condition. He looked like a cold and angry man, but he was still a sensitive boy who couldn't live without the love. Ellie came and ran towards him. Janko, he opened his eyes and looked at her. What are you doing in my house? Get out. I came here for you. Look at yourself. Look what you did to you. I don't need your sympathy. You did this. You wanted me to leave her. I just love you. I don't need your love. Get out, Tom. Throw her out. He shouted and his guard came shut. He got up and walked while crying. He was still laying on the couch. He hated himself and he remembered Ryan's hateful words. For immediately she didn't let him touch his daughter. Months passed like this and he became so useless. He stayed at home and didn't go to work. He left with nothing. Alice many times begged him to marry her, but he always refused. Now Ellie came to Matt's house. He was sitting here, but suddenly she heard Mrs. Joy and Matt's voice. He got up and walked towards the room. Now it has become so easy to cut his company. He is useless and stops going to company. Yes, Ellie will not know about this. Don't tell her that we wanted to destroy him. I will not tell her. Thanks for making that fake video of him. The property must be divided between us. Yes, Matt opened the door and saw her standing in front of them. Their eyes were tears and you wanted to. Mrs. Joy grabbed her hand softly and was yelling, let him, he will never look at you. She hung her and you both loved me. She shouted, Ellie, listen to me. He's dying, can't you notice his condition? He's going through so much regret and you do this. Actually, you are. Her tears started falling. I will never let him. They both smiled, you can't do this. She ran outside. Is can't you notice his condition? Jungkook was sitting while eating the sandwiches. His hair was messy and clothes were dirt. He didn't have control of if Samuel came and immediately threw the Sanji looked at her. They put was an irritated young. He was standing at VC sat on and started speaking with Gully Jungkook. Anything that I did that just to get you back. I put he stopped and looked at him. Why did you do that? I want you back. Her tears started falling. It was hard for me to accept that you were happy with him. You never wanted to divorce her. That was hurting me, so I made a plan and deleted the recording. I get help. I get help from Mrs. Joanne. Met they helped him to get a fake and videos to make it believe Ryan. I told Ryan that you don't want her, but that's why she doesn't let you meet her. She started hating her. That was all I wanted. But I didn't know that Mrs. Joanne mad. I'm telling you this because I don't want you to die. Just get out. He was crying. Ellie was crying and apologizing, but he threw her out and got back into his senses. He became strong after knowing the truth. He got up and walked into the office room and called his 1 month later. He was standing in front of the house and she came out. He pulled out the bucket and smiled. She walked towards him while smiling. Sorry again. She hugged him. He was apologizing for a month, but today finally she forgave me. Really told Ryan everything of Ryan. Wanted sometime that was she was not coming back. Her heart broke after hearing it was a plan. She felt peace after knowing the truth. He left her because he also believed that his children were after they showed him the videos. He didn't want to run her life anymore. That's why he told her he didn't know, but he didn't know the truth and believed in their lies. He believed her because he didn't remember what happened that day. His memory was not helping him to know what happened that day. He just remembered the accident and Ellie's words. Mad Mrs. Joanne Ellie got arrested. Ellie told Van Jungkook everything because she didn't want to die. She accepted her fate. She was included in the plan. That's why she also got arrested. Now Ryan was sitting beside him while he was holding his daughter happily. He was happy that finally she was living happily with the love of her life. She looked at her and she kissed him while cupping his face. He was so mentally disturbed and more than Ryan. They were healing together.